Oh! Oh dear.
Once again, we meet the Hayfords. Sister Tilly and Brother Theo.
Original. Yeah.
I must say, everyone loved one part of the part one. There was one section everybody was sending me comments and feedback on. I loved it too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm
Is
not
that
going
the
to say it here. So if you haven't watched the part one, you better go and get it because it was too amazing.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Great.
You're looking great.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
I love it. I love it.
I'm sure she's charged for today.
Oh. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We will see.
A friend called me from France and she was like, oh, the lady wasn't talking much. I said, rest assured she's not quiet.
The lady was a companion at that time.
Okay. Let's see how it goes today. So, are you ready for my first question?
Bring it on. Let's see.
Ooh. What do you argue about most?
Do we argue? We have highlights, but arguments.
I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
I was discussing with Daniel, what are highlights and what's
Highlights.
arguments? What's quarrel?
Okay. Argument is disagreeing on something, isn't it?
Right.
Which, if I can remember, we hardly.
You're always in agreement.
We
You agree with
agree.
everything.
We hardly go into that zone, isn't it?
So what are highlights then?
Highlight is like you're not happy with something,
Right.
so kind of you switch off a bit.
Smooth swing.
Mood, like a mood swing, yeah.
But if you're not happy with something, it means
Yeah.
you're not in agreement.
You are not in agreement. Should we say that? Not in agreement.
Because what I think you've decided to call your arguments highlights.
Okay.
But you don't want to use the
So
term.
highlights can be, for instance, if there is something that needed to be done,
Right.
and you were expecting, well, when it comes to me, I'm expecting Theo to do it, and it has not been done. That is when
And you
my
will
mood,
switch off.
yes. But when it comes to disagreeing on something, that is different, isn't it?
So you hardly
We
disagree
haven't-
on any
I can't
anything.
remember us going into that zone.
Really?
Well, I'm just going to pick because you categorized it in 3 forms.
Yes.
So you talked about
Quarrels,
arguments,
and highlights.
and highlights.
Right.
Well, for us, I'll put some like mood swings into highlights. I mean,
Okay.
every human being goes through that mood, one mood or the other.
That's some people's way of showing you that they don't agree with something. They're not happy.
Yeah.
That's
their way
it,
of
but-
It's an
expressing,
expression, yes.
You see, when it comes, there are times that you can see that, I'll just give an example. Matilda likes to do things the way she likes, you know,
In a particular way.
in a particular way. And she likes to, I think when at times she becomes a bit, or things become a bit too much for her, and
Overwhelming.
overwhelming, and she's expecting
You to come in,
maybe
help.
that's what I see. Maybe she's expecting a help, which in her mind should be automatic.
Obvious.
No, yeah, should be
So
obvious.
I want you to pick it up.
Yeah,
You
But
see,
he's not in your mind to read. He's
That's
not a
right.
mind reader.
that's it. So
We all do it. I do it. I
Yeah.
think it's a woman thing.
so she has a way of expressing it, and she goes that quiet.
When she switches, you know that.
So those are the times that I would say, hey, demons are coming. You know? And you know, if you catch that situation, you need to be quick enough to step in.
Right.
You understand?
Before-
If you leave it, then
That's when I re-escape it. Come in.
oh yeah, it can take, because all of a sudden she's gone quiet.
I think I'm like that too sometimes.
She's gone
It's like,
quiet,
Yeah.
and
Especially when my husband is on social media or something, and I'm cleaning and some
Ah,
the kids
wow.
are.
Okay, so maybe
It's everywhere, and
so
the
you've
kids
done
are
it.
crying,
You
and
said it
it's
for
like
me.
you're still there or you're doing something. I'm like, I expect you to know that,
Yeah.
but then
So-
it's like I'm not a mind reader.
So generally,
Yeah,
it's something that cuts across.
it's
isn't it?
everywhere.
Yeah. So that if it's not addressed can take a
It's
day
gonna
or two.
escalate, yeah.
Yeah. Because now everybody, all of a sudden she's gone quiet. You've also gone that quiet.
So you don't argue about anything. You don't quarrel,
We may have differences in opinion.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
but you don't shout
But-
about it.
It's not something that you should shout about.
No.
Differences in an opinion is like conflict, sort of. So when there's conflict, how do you manage that? Conflict itself is not a problem, but how you manage it is what causes the problem.
Okay.
So disagreement may come. Quarrels is on the high side, isn't it? And I've never, by the grace of God, never seen quarrel.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
We-
good.
We've not entered that.
No,
one.
we've not
Ah,
gone
By
into
the
that.
grace of God.
Yeah.
Why did you get married?
No, sister. Why did I get married?
Why did I?
Why
Oh,
did
you know?
we?
Why did you get married?
Well, I guess it's a development of life, isn't it? Like a boy, you've gone through the various stages,
Yeah.
and you've come into that stage. But you have to have the mind to have to settle down. And I wasn't the type that wasn't going to get married. You understand? Because
You knew
I-
that
I
at
knew
some
that
point
at
you
some
wanted
point-
to get married.
I need to get married. So when all these pieces got together, I found the right person. So why not?
Why
that's
did
it.
you get married?
I think as Theo said, it's a stage of development, isn't it? So when you get there, you can actually, I don't know, see that is the right time for you to make that move or make that commitment. Yeah.
So none of you got married because it's like, okay,
Is it under duress or under?
yeah, like nobody advised you like,
No.
oh, I think you're of age, you need to get married.
No.
Or you thought, you know what, I'm burning, I need to fire.
Normally,
The way your wife is looking at you, she's
you
worried
feel-
you might say something.
yeah. Normally, you feel what you said concerning the fact that you got into an age where people say you need to get married and all that. It comes in where you can see that the person is not.
Has no intentions of.
Yeah, it's not got that intention
Yeah.
to
That's
get
when they start
into a
putting
situation.
pressure
Or,
on
yeah,
you.
and then they will start putting pressure. Especially, I think it's more of the ladies
I know.
than men.
I know.
But I mean, I knew
You were
at
ready.
what age I wanted, and I've always said around 30, 32 I should. So you will see your mind working towards that, and when all things are equal at that time,
Yeah.
that's the right time.
You know, I was telling you about my friend in France. This has nothing to do with what we're saying right now. She called me, she was like, I first met you in 1995 and we're in primary school, so how come you were telling them you were in JS? I said, I forgot. I forgot it. She said, I remember the first day I met you, we were in primary school and it was in 1995, so how come you were telling these people that you were in JSS, bro? That's by the way. Anyway, my next question is, Sister Marge, you remember this more. How did Brother Theo first ask you out?
I don't remember what he said, to be very honest.
He didn't go
We
down
just-
on one knee.
No, never.
Will you be my princess?
Really? No.
No.
I don't even remember what he said. I just followed.
You were in love.
I don't think it was just about the love. It was more of the friendship. Because we belong to the same church. We're fond of each other.
And you knew him
Yes.
very well.
Very well.
This is
And-
someone I would love to spend the rest of my life with.
I
It's
think
nice I made that decision. But she wasn't showing it.
I don't remember thinking about, deeply, into
How it
it.
happened.
Yeah, but I think the friendship just grew.
Yeah.
And then,
You knew it was just right.
Yes, yeah, I think that is right.
Did you, when he said it, did you have to go like, oh, give me some time to pray about it, or give me some time to? Some people do that. Give me some time to think about it.
No, I think we have. We have.
She's thought about me already.
Really? Oh dear. Well.
She had married you and had kids with you already in her mind.
Yeah. But I think until that we were in the same church, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we found ourselves like getting close.
Yeah.
It
was just a day.
Getting close, and then I started picking her to work. Picking her back to the house, and then when we are coming back, we have a popular spot called Davico, Club Davico. So we would normally make a stopover and then sit there for a while.
Chill.
Yeah, just have some drinks and then talk about, everything that needs to be talked about.
You were a show boy.
So, well, not really, but what else can you do?
No, I mean, a show boy in the sense that, like, I'm making you feel good. Who wouldn't like that?
Who wouldn't like that? Yeah, who wouldn't like that? I mean, and then from where we were coming from, in Ghana, every girl will like that. So your boyfriend or your beloved sort of picks you from work.
Stops over at the
spot,
you
sit down at the spot, just have one or two, and then at the end,
it just works like magic.
It's even nice for the person to drop you at home, and then
when people were boarding trotro and taxis, you were in a private car.
By the grace of God,
you see.
So I think when it's getting onto that line, you should be able to commit yourself, because for all the chats that we were having at that time, for all the urge to be with one another, I can tell you that even weekends we took trips. Like I remember one time we took a trip to the Ebri Gardens.
Oh, that's
nice.
Just to spend a retreat.
Yeah, we went for a retreat.
Just the two of you.
Yeah.
Just the two of us. So we went into
Did
the
you stay in the same room?
No. We
just a day.
Yeah, we went there
to pray. As beloveds.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
We went there to pray. What are we going to pray about? Am I just going to pray and then leave it to go? No. So
you've prayed about your future.
We've prayed about our future, and we had a meal at the end. I remember. Yeah, we had a meal at the end, and then we drove back to Accra.
That's nice.
I think that's spot on.
That was a stamp.
Yeah, and even I felt like I was a husband already. I wasn't then. So
I want to ask you. I know you have 3 kids, and having had kids recently, oh my days, it can be challenging. I know everyone puts their kids' picture outside. Oh, I'm blessed. I love my kids. But it's not easy having kids, raising them up, making decisions on their behalf and everything. How have you coped? Marriage, kids, church, work, everything. How have you done it?
Personally, I believe that when it comes to the family itself, as the woman, you have to be very strong, persistent. You have to force, because men are there to support you.
Is it not the other way around?
Well, that is what it's meant to be. But when it comes to the real life, we take the full charge most of the time, because he's working. You are always there with the kids, so most of the things you get to know and you get to do it. If you leave it, things are falling apart. So I believe that as a woman, I took the charge. I do whatever I have to do, and when he's there, he supports fully. That is what we've done all these years.
So as a husband, you don't leave everything to the woman, like she's doing it, so let her just get on with it. But you come in, you support.
Even if he's not coming in, I drag him in. I just let him know that, in your absence, this is what is going on. This is what do you think? This is what we have to do, or what do you think? So every time he's fully aware what is going on as well.
You're dating him.
Yeah.
one thing we never did was to consider that plan to take our children to their grandparents back home for them to keep.
So that you can work and save.
So that we can work. And I mean, we dismissed that idea from the very first time that we had.
Beginning,
yeah. And then we have to, if we are not giving them to anybody to mind, then we will have to have a plan concerning their upbringing.
Yeah, there should always be somebody available, one of us available for them.
Yeah, so I think the first thing we did was when we had Tessie, we took Tessie to a childminder for a couple of months. And then I saw that whatever goes out, like whatever comes in by way of Matilda's wages, is what we used to pay for the childminder. So I said to her, there's no point. So why don't you just stay, have another one, and then maybe I may have to break my back, but that's how we'll have to go.
So you were taking care of the home alone?
Yeah, Matilda.
That must be tough.
I mean, like, well, that's an option, isn't it? That we have decided. It's hard, but if that is what you want to go with, you have to sacrifice and go. Yeah.
So everything is planning. You plan your life from A to B, which is good.
Yeah.
And
So
I'm sure everyone watching us would learn from that. If you're a young couple, you haven't had kids yet, you want to have kids, you need to plan everything.
Yeah.
The generation this year, especially the kids, they need a lot of attention.
They do.
They need somebody to be there. It's like 24/7, watching them.
I've heard of cyberbullying and all of that, and it's because we leave our kids
There is
to
a
stay
lot
on their
going on.
devices
There
for
is a
too
lot
long.
going on.
Yeah.
My kids, to be very honest, we didn't allow them on TV in the week, except the weekends. Weekends, yes. But even with that, they have a limit. But now these days, it's very difficult. They have the phone, they have the iPad, the TV is there. It's like
even in their rooms.
It is so difficult. So
yeah, I mean,
because sometimes that's the only way you can shut them up, because they're like, no. So you want them to calm down a bit, and then you give it to them, and then if you're not watching, that's when predators come in, and
yeah, many people use that as a means to
calm the kids down.
Kids down, but I don't think it's a good idea. Look, between Tessie, Theo, and Ivan, Tessie and Theo were, I would say, unlucky in a way, because I mean, we didn't have internet.
No, we decided not to. We decided not to.
So they were not.
You didn't have internet at home.
We decided not to subscribe.
Yeah.
But you had them on your phone anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
So no Sky, no internet, just the basic TV.
The basic TV, yeah.
So they were more into making things, drawing, activities all the time.
Being creative.
All the time.
But that means you have to be there as well.
That's what I'm saying.
I've tried.
I was at home. I was available at home all the time.
Because even if you want them to do activities, you can't leave them to do it on their own.
You have to be there.
And I think one thing that Matilda also does is, which I think is good. I don't know whether she learnt it or it is something that comes to her natural, is being concerned about what the activities the children go through in a day. Even if they go to school, she would ask about their day.
No, I'd like to know how their day has been. Even if I don't ask them, they know it's something that I do all the time. So they'll come and ask me.
At what age did you start asking that?
From reception, right from reception, even nursery. When they come back, what did you do? How was school? What did you eat? Everything I want to know.
So if something is happening at school, something not good, something bad is happening at school,
you pick it up.
You
will even pick it up.
Yes.
And that one thing happened, very funny, that Theo once saw on her mother's phone a reminder. You remember,
No, because what happened was, I think I missed a couple of days asking him how his day has been. And he has to remind me, Mom, you haven't asked me, my day. So what I did was, in order not to forget, he said, when it comes to Tessie, you ask her all that. I said, sometimes she comes in and she says, Mom, you haven't asked me my day. And I said, go on then. And then she tells me, but when it comes to Theo, I think, I don't know what was going on.
Was it a girly thing?
Because she will come out of her way to tell me.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Theo,
Theo
he's
will wait
waiting
for you to.
Yes. And he does ask me as well, Mom, how was your day? So then I have to put a reminder on my phone. So he saw that reminder and said, so when it comes to me, you have to remind yourself. And he wasn't happy, but we still do.
But was your husband not doing anything like that? Asking
That's
them
why I say,
because you were there. Like,
I'm always there.
Yeah, because
I'm
he was
always there.
He would be at work anyway.
Theo is a bit
petty. But I think it got to a time they were getting him involved.
Right.
Because when he comes home, they ask, oh, Dad,
How was
your day?
Yeah.
And they are expecting him to ask them as well.
Right.
So it's been something that ongoing, and I think it's a nice thing. Kids get into a lot of things at school or outside the home. How do you know?
Yeah.
You can pick.
And if you have that bond, if you have that
Yeah.
relationship where they can easily tell you about their day,
Yeah.
it won't be so difficult if they've run into trouble or someone is giving them problems.
Yeah.
It won't be so difficult to tell you or open up to you.
Yeah.
So if you're watching me and you have young kids, this is a tip, a very good tip we can all learn from. My kids are very young, so I also need that. Yeah. I think it's very good.
Yeah.
I know 2 of your kids are in university.
Yeah.
Did you choose their courses, or did you allow them to choose their own courses?
You know what? When the kids get to sixth form, even the schools doesn't even allow you to do anything for them. They have to do everything by themselves.
Are you serious?
Yes. When you're writing to them, or when there is any communication, it goes to them directly. From sixth form, that's nothing.
So you didn't choose their courses?
No, they have to do everything by themselves.
But if they have chosen courses that would be beneficial to them, because some of the courses at university, you know that, come on.
The thing is, as they are growing up, most kids, I don't know about everyone, but most kids can actually tell you where their interest is.
You know where I'm coming from though, because back in Ghana, your parents
choose for you.
I know. Whether you like it or not.
I know.
When I was
you
going
have
to
this, you have
I wanted to do general arts. My mom said no. You have to do science.
Yeah.
And I did.
Yeah.
You know, like your parents. When I finished SS, my mom chose what I had to do, and it's been a blessing to me.
Okay.
So you know, back home they don't allow you to do just any course. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, if the input is very important, I think it is.
When you say the input, what do you mean?
I mean,
the foundation.
The foundation is very important. Right. And then 2, Tessie, for example, knows straight away what she wanted to do.
Okay.
So we have to prepare her, you know.
And her mind hasn't changed.
And her mind hasn't changed. You could see.
So if it had been a course that you think wouldn't.
Yeah, that's
you can only advise.
You
won't force it.
No, you won't. Not.
I mean,
in this part of the world.
If you tell me you want to do a course like, what's this course? They do courses. This course that you go to PlayStation. Criminology. Why would you do criminology? Why don't you just go and do law? Do you understand?
People will do it.
Yeah, you do criminology. I know in this part of the world you get work to do, but there's a bit of law in criminology. You are going to defend people, so just do law, isn't it?
So
rather than minimizing or you
can suggest.
Yeah.
But you cannot.
Why not?
Say, I want you to do this course.
Because people, to be honest, at times they choose the course they want to do simply because they don't want to go through that stress of doing something very difficult. Do you understand? So they will choose something like that. But if you are a father, that is where you input. You know, so
it's right from the beginning.
Right from the beginning.
You know the strengths of your kids.
Yeah.
And then you build them towards. Could it also be like Tessie, for example? You keep telling them, I know you're very good. You can be this when you grow up. You can. That's a way of pushing them in the right direction without being so forceful.
Yeah.
That's what a parent should do, isn't it? That is your role to guide them, to the right place. Yeah, so I think that is very important.
Now back to the two of you. After all these years, if you've not watched the part one, I'll just give you a small gist. You need to go and watch it. But they've been married by the grace of God for 21 good years.
Yeah, this month. Come on. In the next 20 days.
Wow.
In the next 19 days.
Amazing. What has changed in your relationship? When you started till now, have you affected him in any positive way? Has he affected you in any positive way? Like, I was never like this, but because I'm married to him, now I do this. In a Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining me once again, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.